So now we'll go through an activity of where you might potentially locate a heat pump water heater in a sample home. So there's a lot to look at this image, and we'll explain a little bit of it. We're going to highlight the areas where potentially that heat pump water heater could be installed. We've got a garage, we've got a laundry room, and then we also have a closet, that big walk-in closet adjacent to the primary bedroom and bathroom. Keep in mind that we have 2 bedrooms on the right side and that there are 2 full baths. Each one of those is located next to one of the bedrooms, and then there's a half bath near the kitchen. Given what you've learned in today's class, where would you recommend installing a heat pump water heater? And once you figure out a location, how big should that water heater be based on the size and calculations? And there is a slight trick, which is that you'll want to make sure that this table is showing the first hour rating, not gallons. So you'll need to then translate that first hour rating into a piece of equipment that can meet that. So Andrew, if you were tasked with installing a heat pump water heater in this home, where might you pick?
Well, we've got 2 bedrooms, so we can use that column. It's showing either 60 or 60, and then showing 2 to 2.5 bathrooms. So we've got 2.5 baths here. So there we go, 60 gallons.
Yep, and in terms of location, the garage is a great location in terms of not putting any cold air into the home. Heat is just going to be gathered from that garage space and the cold air will be expelled to that garage space. Downside is it's sort of far from the 2 main bathrooms, the bathrooms that are attached to each of the bedrooms. So you may end up with some customer complaints about just the length of time to get hot water over to those spaces. The laundry room is definitely a contender because there are not any real living spaces adjacent to it. You've got a bathroom on one side, dining room on another side. Noise isn't really going to bother anyone. That room being slightly colder isn't really going to bother anyone, and it'll be offset a little bit when somebody's running the dryer. So that's an option too. However, it's still sort of far from those bathrooms, but not quite as far as a garage. And then the primary closet, for length of time to get hot water, it's perfect. It's right next to both of those bathrooms, but likely nobody is going to want to either give up closet space for that water heater or have to listen to the noise. Though the noise in that space would at least be buffered from the bedrooms by the bathrooms and the closets. So 3 potential options, each with their pluses and minuses.
Well, here is a real-world example that I'm very familiar with. This is my home. I put in a heat pump water heater back in August of 23, and you can see there the original 1990, well, not original, but the house is very old, but there was a working 1996 electric resistance water heater. Now, the retail price for that new water heater was $1,699, which qualified for the 30% federal tax credit. And I'm going to go through some of the details about this to really break through to the value proposition here. So you can see there on the slide that that 96 tank still had the energy label on it, and it said, you know, on average you could expect it to use a little over 5,000 kilowatt hours per year. So here's the new heat pump water heater I put in. Now it's down in my basement, so I really think of that as an ideal location for it. It blows out cool, dry air. Hey, I was running a dehumidifier down there already to keep the moisture under control. So it's really kind of a perfect location. The modest noise and the cool air aren't a problem. And it's brand new, so it had an energy label. And here's the big difference here. A little over 800 kilowatt hours per year, again, compared to that 5,108.
It's an impressive difference.
It's fantastic. More than 5 times more efficient. Oh, and did I mention the tank is larger? So more hot water at a fraction of the cost. And at our local then current electricity rates, which have gone up since then, it's saving me over $600 a year. So yes, it costs more than 3 times for the device to install it. I'll earn that back in less than 3 years. So I consider this a really good investment. And it works great. I mean, it does the job. Again, it's a bigger tank. Well, those are the last of our slides. Here's another QR code where you can take a follow-up survey on the presentation we just gave. We really would appreciate your anonymous feedback to help us improve these presentations. Well, thanks for joining our presentation today. I'm Andrew Grigsby with Viridiant.
And I'm Sean Shanley.
And we wish you the best of luck installing heat pump water heaters.